Just give me 1 second. Where did we go? Just hold 1 second. Okay. So we're online now. All right. So this Bhagavad Gita is translated loosely as the Song of God. It's the words spoken by the Lord himself on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And generally, when we think of a song, many of us may like music, whether it's classical music or rock and roll or Western music. Many of us like music. And we have our favorite songs. And the reason why some of these songs are really memorable for us is because of two things. One is that the lyrics or the words of the song are very attractive. The second reason is that the tune is very attractive. Or of course, it could be a combination of both. Great hits have great lyrics and great tunes. But as we keep growing up, our attraction to a particular song keeps changing because our taste is changing. The kind of songs that we sang in kindergarten, Baba, Black Sheep, and all these rhymes that we learned, we outgrow that, right? And then as you get older, your music taste changes. And therefore, the songs that you listen to and the genre that you listen to and the singers that you listen to changes because your taste keeps changing. So the same song that you really loved when you were, say, 13 years old or 14 years old is not the same song that you love today. So our taste in songs, in the singers, in the lyrics, everything changes. Because we are going through different life experiences, and during different stages in life, we're attracted to different kinds of singers and different kinds of songs. So even this Bhagavad Gita is a very, very attractive song. So there comes a stage in our life where we want to understand this particular song also. Now, this song is 700 verses long. So yes, but these sessions are not to teach you how to sing the 700 verses. Maybe we will have another session to teach you how to recite the entire Bhagavad Gita. Maybe we can keep it as a goal for Vaikuntha Ekadasi later this year. So there is a saying in Sanskrit, no? Shrotra Manobhiramam. Whatever is pleasing to the ears and is attractive to the heart is what makes an impact for us. And either it is the meaning that is appealing to our heart or the melody that is appealing to our ears. So this particular song, the Bhagavad Gita, is very appealing to all the acharyas, all the great devotees. They are not listening to mundane songs. They are actually looking at the scriptures. The words emanating from the Supreme Lord Krishna is something that is relished, enjoyed by the great acharyas. So much so that the day this Bhagavad Gita was spoken is celebrated every year as the Gita Jayanti. Here, in this particular Bhagavad Gita, out of the 700 verses, 574 verses are actually spoken by the Lord. And around 84 verses are spoken by Arjuna. Sanjaya speaks 41 verses and Dhritarashtra speaks 1 verse, which is the very first verse to introduce us to the Bhagavad Gita. So certainly 700 verses over 18 days, it's not possible for us to cover all these verses. So what we are presenting to you starting from today is a very high-level summary of each chapter. And we'll also teach you a good way to remember the summary of each chapter through acronyms and also through a single word summary, because every chapter has a particular theme. And if you can understand the theme, then it becomes easy for you to understand the Bhagavad Gita. And many people will say, but why should I learn the Bhagavad Gita? I see a very young boy who's joined us here. He barely looks like he's 8 or 9 years old, and he's got his book and pen ready, I noticed, to take notes. I'm always amazed when youngsters, very young children, join these sessions. So we think, oh, Bhagavad Gita is meant, after you're retired. Why worry about it now? You have so many other responsibilities, duties, goals. You have a different purpose in life. So why should we really read the Bhagavad Gita? Why can't we wait till we are much older when we have time? But just look at the context of this Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is not speaking to a sannyasi on the battlefield. Krishna is also not speaking to an old man. I mean, age-wise, both Krishna and Arjuna are in their 90s, but in Dwapar Yuga, that's not considered old. They're considered quite young. Krishna by now has grandsons and great-grandsons and daughters when he takes up a charioteer position for Arjuna. So Arjuna is not a sannyasi. He's not retired from life. He is actually a grihastha. This entire Bhagavad Gita predominantly is addressing grihasthas. Of course, there is messages here for those who are following the brahmachari path or the sannyasi path. But there is a word in Sanskrit called ashrama. Shrama means difficulties. Ashrama means complete difficulties. So if it's brahmachari ashram, full of difficulties. Grihastha ashram, full of difficulties. Vanaprastha ashram, completely difficult, because you have to learn to give up a lot of things. Sannyasi ashram, difficulties. So my first question to you is, of these 4 ashrams, what are the 4 ashrams? Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasi. Which ashram will have the most difficulties? Problem statements that they have to solve. Which ashram will have? You can answer in the chat. So my question was, of the 4 ashrams, which ashram will have major difficulties that they need solutions for? Okay. Acha, interesting. Everybody is saying Grihastha ashram. Acha. So married life presents the maximum challenges for us in trying to address so many issues, and it begins with relationships. And that's the right answer. If you compare the 4 ashrams, Brahmachari ashram is student life. Grihastha ashram is married life. When you have your child, you raise them, etc. Vanaprastha means your children are married and you're ready to retire. Sannyasi means you've withdrawn from society. You've sacrificed everything for a greater good. So among these 4 ashrams, the Grihastha ashram is the most challenging. The most amount of adjustments one needs to make is actually in the Grihastha ashram. So hence, this Bhagavad Gita is actually being spoken to a Grihastha. Arjuna is married, he has family, he has wives, children. It's quite a challenging time to be in the Grihastha ashram. But when we discover what we will in the upcoming slides, His challenge is a little bit unique. So the first thing we should dispel is that this Bhagavad Gita is only meant for those who are retired. Actually, no, it is meant for Grihasthas only. Because we face the maximum number of challenges in our life. Right? Whether it is finances, whether it is health, whether it is a relationship, whether it is practicing spirituality, we have the maximum challenges. There are so many pushes and pulls in our life. How do we balance all of this? So, although the Bhagavad Gita is translated as the song of God, really you should say it is the song of compassion. Krishna is so compassionate towards us that he gives us this knowledge that we can utilize in our lives to lead a happy life. So what is the context of the Bhagavad Gita being spoken? We all know that the Kauravas and Pandavas, the Pandavas are also considered gurus. So they experienced a series of tragic events and injustices. Bhima was poisoned, Draupadi was disrobed, their lakh house was set on fire, they were sent into Vanavas. So an ideal king should treat his citizens equally. But that is the challenge here that Arjuna is facing because of the decisions made by Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana. So if you look at our life's journey, this is irregardless of ashram, whether you're in brahmachari ashram, grihastha ashram, which varna you are, it does not matter. All of us are going to experience ups and downs in life. Now, there is a quote that is attributed to Sri Ratan Tata of the Tata Group very recently. Within this last 6 months, he had passed away. He said that if there are no ups and downs in your life, and life is just a flat line, that's not a good sign. It means you're dead. How do you know you are alive? There are ups and downs in life. Just like your heartbeat, there are ups and downs. If you see a flat line, it means you don't have life. But then, we also know that when we have ups and downs in life, and especially when we are experiencing significant distress, that's when the questions start coming. Who am I? Where did I come from? What am I doing here? Where am I? Why are these things happening to me? Who's God? And does everybody have a relationship with God? Why is there so much inequality all around me? And at the time I die, where am I going to go? So ultimately, for all of us, we want to be happy. We don't want to experience distress and distress alone. We want to extend our happiness quotient in this life. But then, whether we ask for it or not, we also experience suffering. So the question is for us, how do we become permanently happy? Is it possible for us to be permanently happy so that that graph is just one line going straight up? Is that possible? It is, but the answers are there in the Bhagavad Gita. And that's what we're going to discover over the next 18 days. So you may have many more questions than this, but these are the fundamental questions all of us will start with. It is not possible for us to answer all these questions today, but it is possible for us to answer these 4 questions over the next 18 days. You will have your answers. So the first thing I want to do is encourage you to stay with us for 18 days. 18 days is a long time. I'm sure many of you will decide this is not worth my time. I will listen to the recording later. I will do it when I have free time. So many of us may just simply decide, 1 class, 2 class is okay, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way to 18, maybe 19, maybe 20. I don't think I can commit my time. How many of you are planning to just drop off? I hope you will all stick around for 18 days because you'll find your answers here over these 18 days. So that you can also slowly begin to understand the answers to these questions and maybe solve some problems that you are experiencing in your personal life. So if I had to ask you a question, so for this question, you can use the chat to respond. So my question is, why do we go to a doctor? For what reason? Why do we go visit a doctor? To get cured. Okay. That means only if you have a disease, you go to the doctor. To get well, when a health problem arises, to get relief from pain, to get treatment for a cure. Yes. How does the doctor cure you? What does he do? What are the different ways in which a doctor would go about curing you? Yes, so he would diagnose your symptoms first. So he will give you a prescription for medicines. He may advise you to take some tests, some medical investigation. So after he has diagnosed the problem, then he will prescribe the path for good health, right? So the doctor gives us instructions, what we should do, what we should not do. When should we take medicine? Before food or after food? Should we restrict our diet? Yes or no? Are there foods you should avoid? Yes. But he's placing so many restrictions on you. The more severe the disease, the more severe the restrictions. Isn't it? Do you agree? If the disease is more severe, then the restrictions also become more severe. So I know my cousin had a liver transplant, and unexpectedly it happened. And he was on such a strict diet, no salt, no oil, and for a long time he could not travel because he had to be very careful about infections. So the more severe the diagnosis, the more severe the restrictions. Does that mean that the doctor doesn't love you if he puts you under very severe treatment? No, he cares about you. He wants you to recover your good health, and therefore he puts you on a much more severe plan for you to come back to good health. So similarly, the Bhagavad Gita can also be seen in the same way. So can we all agree that all of us have a different severity of disease? Can we agree on that? I'm not talking about a medical doctor problem now. I'm talking about life's problem. Some of our problems are very severe. For some of us, the problem is very, it's like a minor infection. For some of us, we are facing a huge calamity in our life and we don't know which direction to go, which path to take. Similarly, the Bhagavad Gita acts as your prescription. The more severe the disease, then the more severe the prescription. Actually, there is only one disease. which we'll find out in chapter 2. All of us are suffering only one disease, but within that disease, the severity is greater or lesser. So the Bhagavad Gita is actually Krishna's ultimate prescription for lasting happiness. Just like the doctor wants you to get well soon, Krishna also wants you to get well soon. So he is giving you the ultimate prescription. This prescription you can find in the Bhagavad Gita. Why is Krishna giving this prescription? Just like the doctor wants us to get well, Krishna loves us so much. He wants us to be happy. He doesn't want us to experience suffering. So he is telling us what to do and what not to do. Just like the doctor will give you do's and don'ts and some rules and regulations, similarly, Krishna is going to give us some do's and don'ts and some rules and regulations that we have to follow. So this Bhagavad Gita is our manual for living a successful and happy life. So with that being said, let us all pray together. We can chant this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Because in our diseased condition, we may give up the treatment before it has even started. Sometimes, even when we go to the doctors, if the restrictions are severe, we tend to violate it because we don't have that self-control or that self-discipline. So similarly, even when it comes to learning about the Bhagavad Gita, not all of us have that inner strength to be here for the next 18 days. So knowing that we are feeble, we are in a feeble state of mind, let's all chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra 3 times. And internally we can take a sankalpa. My dear Lord, the next 18 days are going to be the most important days of my life. Please help me by allowing me to hear your message for the next 18 days without any interruption. So let's chant the Hare Krishna Mantra 3 times. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Okay, so now we have taken a sankalpa. I hope all of you have taken a sankalpa and ask the Lord to help you over the next 18 days so that whatever answers that you're looking for, you will find it and you will be able to change your life and transform your life to lead a happy and successful life. So, what is the core theme of the Bhagavad Gita? So, I have a question for you. You have to, and this is going to come as a poll. So, let me get the poll open. So, in this poll, you have to first tell me through this question, what is your understanding of Dharma? So, you should see a question now. I first want to know, what is your opinion or what do you think of Dharma? What is it? So the answers are, I'm really not worried about Dharma or Adharma. That's one choice. Second one is, I will follow Dharma and help others also to follow Dharma. The third option is, I don't know anything about Dharma, but I will think about how what I do hurts or impacts others. Which means you only want to learn as much as to avoid hurting or harming others.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, why this mm, they hate Pandavas? Why the Kurukshetra? They is there no uh, why he hate Bhimas and Pandavas and all Arjun? That Mama Shakuni and his uh, they all why they hate them Arjuna and
Yeah, we'll go over it. We're not going to get into the details of the Mahabharata and the stories around it. We're going to focus our attention on the message of the Lord in the Bhagavad Gita. So right now, let's just look at what is the whole. Okay. So can you see the results of the poll? Are you able to see it? Yes or no? Okay. So majority of you have said, I will follow dharma and help others to follow dharma. A smaller percentage of you have said, I don't know anything about dharma, but I will think about what I do and how it hurts or impacts others. Okay. All right. So, so in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is going to outline for us broadly what is dharma. And there are different types of dharma for different varnas and different ashramas. So dharma is not the same for all of us. There may be some core duties and responsibilities all of us are responsible for, but it also depends on your station in life. So in the first chapter, which is called Arjuna Vishada Yoga, this chapter is split as follows. So it has 46 shlokas, and the first 11 shlokas are describing the battlefield. Shlokas 12 to 20 seem to indicate that the Pandavas are going to be victorious. How is that possible? That battle has not even started, but already there are signs of victory. Yes, there are. Then from shlokas 21 to 27, we're going to look at how Lord Krishna is so kind upon all of us. So that kindness is called mercy. And here the mercy is defined as causeless mercy, which means you didn't do any tapas to receive the benediction of Krishna without us doing anything. How the Lord is so merciful upon us. And the chapter will conclude with Arjuna not wanting to fight. So by the end of the first chapter, you will realize that Arjuna does not want to fight. So the Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters. So the first 6 chapters are generally known as Karma Yoga. The middle 6 chapters are known as Bhakti Yoga. And the final 6 chapters, which is 13 to 18, is typically known as Jnana Yoga or also as Sankhya Yoga. So let us look at what is happening in section 1, which is the battlefield. So the Bhagavad Gita begins with Dhritarashtra asking a question. And this Dhritarashtra asking a question also reveals his mood. A little later on, Duryodhana speaks briefly. And let's look at what is Duryodhana's mood. And then there is a description of all the soldiers, the great archers, the great warriors from both sides are listed out. As I said, over the next 18 days, we're not going to go into the details of the Mahabharata. And actually, you don't need to know the details of the Mahabharata. You only need to know this, which is, assume a father has 2 sons. For whatever reason, he gives wealth to one of his sons and deprives the other son of his property. You can imagine that a fight will start between the brothers, between the two sons. That's exactly what has happened here. Yes. It all started because of the Kauravas' attitude. Dhritarashtra thought, my sons should actually rule over the world. Pandavas don't deserve anything, and therefore they were ready to fight. So in the first shloka, Dhritarashtra is asking Sanjaya the following, and this is the only verse that Dhritarashtra speaks in the Bhagavad Gita. Dhritarashtra uvacha karmakshetre kurukshetre samaveta yuyutsavah mamakav pandavaschaiva kimakurvata Sanjaya. What is Dhritarashtra saying? Oh Sanjaya, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do? What did they do? Why is Dhritarashtra asking this question? What did they do? Of course, they're getting ready to fight. So why should he even ask this question? Maybe he's a little nervous about the outcome. Maybe he feels that this is a holy place, the Kurukshetra. Can it influence his sons to do the right thing? And then everything will be lost. Maybe Duryodhana will just change his mind and say, look, I've learned my lesson. My dear Yudhishthira, you go ahead and take the kingdom and sit on the throne. We will all serve you as servants. Maybe he was nervous that his son would just give up. But maybe Dhritarashtra also had a hope deep inside. And the hope was that this is a holy place, Kurukshetra. Just maybe, the Pandavas will get influenced by a holy place and they will decide it's not worth fighting. Let's just give the kingdom to these guys, our cousins, and we'll do our own thing. So you can imagine when somebody is nervous, so many different options comes into your mind, right? Maybe this will happen, or maybe that will happen. I hope this doesn't happen. So you're doing all kinds of weighing and balancing of options of what could potentially be the outcome. Therefore, Dhritarashtra is asking Sanjaya, what happened? Tell me in detail. Don't miss even a single event or episode. I want a live streaming of this. Now, Sanjaya's name itself implies victory. The word Sanjaya means victory. Actually, the word Dhritarashtra means somebody who has taken somebody else's kingdom in an illegitimate way. Dhritarashtra. He has usurped the kingdom that belongs to somebody else. So actually, Sanjaya is sitting in the palace. Sanjaya is a disciple of Srila Vyasadeva who wrote the Mahabharata. And Sanjaya has received a benediction from his guru. This is called Divya Drishti. The ability to see events that are happening in a very distant place, the ability to see it in your mind. So Sanjaya has this vision. So he is asking Sanjaya, please tell me. So what is the mood of Dhritarashtra? He is blind not only physically, but he is also blind to what is dharma. He had so much affection for his own sons that it caused him to not correct them when they were wrong. What is a king's role? A king's role is to make sure justice is always on the side of the right, of the dharmic. So many mistakes Duryodhana made. But Dhritarashtra never stops him, never corrects him. He never chastised him. Actually, there is a saying in our Shastra, if the son is not worthy, the father should reject the son and tell him to get out. If the son brings so much disrepute to the family because of his actions and activities, then the father can disown the son. So similarly, a king is in a position of such responsibility. He has to stop wrongdoing by any citizen, even if the citizen happens to be his own son. So imagine if a judge was sitting in the court and he has to decide on a criminal activity, he will always apply the law equally. Even if his son comes in front of him, he should be ready to apply that same law equally to his son. He cannot say, this is my son, because then what will it be called? Corruption. So you could say Dhritarashtra was corrupt because he didn't stop the wrongdoing, although he was sitting on the throne. For his son, he was willing to look the other way. So it is the king's responsibility to maintain law and order in any country. But Dhritarashtra was blinded by his greed. His greed is that he wanted his son to become the king, and therefore he does not correct Duryodhana. So you could say Dhritarashtra was not a very responsible parent. So for all of you who are parents here, similarly, a lesson for us is that blind affection for our children will end up causing them the greatest harm. What did Dhritarashtra end up doing? Because of his blindness, he lost all his sons. Not one survived. And then yes, later on he complains to Krishna. How could you have taken away all my sons? Am I that bad of a person that I had to lose all of them? So Dhritarashtra was doubtful whether his sons would win or not. What would be the condition of the Pandavas, considering Krishna is on their side, considering that the battle is going to happen on this holy place. Now, as I mentioned, the well-known soldiers, archers, warriors are called out by Duryodhana, both on the Pandavas side as well as on the Kauravas side. So we know that the Pandavas fought with 7 Akshauhinis. The Kauravas had 11 Akshauhinis. And you can see who was on whose side here. So what is an Akshauhini? Just briefly, this is coming from the Mahabharata Adi Parva. An Akshauhini has a total of 218,700 individuals or animals participating in the war, of which 21,870 elephants and chariots, 65,610 horses, 109 or 1,09,350 infantrymen, that is soldiers, foot soldiers. The precise numbers. What is interesting is all these numbers add up to 9. So if you look at this Akshauhini, actually, we know what is the story, right? Duryodhana and Arjuna arrive at Krishna's residence. Duryodhana comes first, and he's sitting at the head of Lord Krishna. Arjuna comes a little later, so he's seated at the Lord's lotus feet. And when the Lord wakes up, he sees Arjuna first. And he says, how can I help you? And Duryodhana said, wait a minute, I have come here first. Why are you asking him? So at that time, the Lord said, see, I saw him first, and anyway, he's younger to you. So the younger person always gets to ask what they want first. So Arjuna said, I want you, Krishna. I don't want anything else. And Duryodhana was thinking, what a moron this Arjuna is. He could have asked for Krishna's army, but he ended up asking for Krishna instead. But then we know how devotees are. They would rather have Krishna on their side than a giant army. So Duryodhana was thrilled that he got the Narayani Sena. Now there is an interesting fact here. This Narayani Sena also had 11 Akshauhinis, but out of those 11 Akshauhinis, only 2 participated in the war. 9 of them said, I will not fight. Why? Because Balaram decided he will not participate in this war. And therefore, some of the clans agreed with Lord Balaram and decided not to fight in the battle. So even though Krishna's army also had 11 Akshauhinis, the number that actually fought in the battle was 2. 9 said, we will not fight. Who are these 2 that actually fought? So Kritavarma and Satyaki are the 2 Akshauhinis who fought on either side. So Kritavarma decided to fight on the side of the Kauravas. Satyaki decided to fight on the side of Krishna. Now see, Krishna has said, you take my army. So that means all 11 Akshauhinis should have fought on the Kauravas side. But that's not how it played out. Now, why did Satyaki decide to fight on the side of the Pandavas? He said, see, here also one dharma question was debated by Balaram and others. The debate was, should we or should we not fight? Because Krishna has said Narayani Sena will participate in the war as per Duryodhana's request. So this is a dharmic question. Should they obey Krishna or should they disobey Krishna? Krishna has told, you can take my army. So now the army, should they heed Krishna's word or should they violate Krishna's words? So there was a debate. Even here, people took different sides. 9 said, we will not fight. 2 said, I will fight on Kaurava. 1 said, I will fight on the side of the Pandavas. Satyaki decided, in this case, I am going to disobey Krishna. I am not going to listen to him and follow his advice and instruction that I have to fight on the side of the Kauravas. I will never go against Krishna. Therefore, Satyaki joins the Pandavas side. Kritavarma was very obedient. He said, this is Krishna's word. I will honor his word. So what happened in the end? Kritavarma is the only person left. His entire Akshauhini is destroyed. And we just discovered how large the Akshauhini is, right? So you can imagine how many people were lost. Out of 2,18,700, only 1 person survived. That was Kritavarma. So his entire Akshauhini was destroyed in the battle. Now Satyaki was victorious because he was on the Pandavas. So let us look at the next set of shlokas here. So we said Duryodhana is calling out all these great warriors' names. Let's look at these 2 shlokas. Anye cha bahava shura madharte tyakta jivitaha nana shastra praharanaha sarve yuddha visharadaha. There are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons, and all are experienced in military science. Then in the next shloka, Duryodhana says, Aparyaptam tadasmakam balam bhishma bhirakshitam paryaptam tvidame balam bhima bhirakshitam. Our strength is immeasurable and we are perfectly protected by grandfather Bhishma, whereas the strength of the Pandavas, carefully protected by Bhima, is limited. Now, Bhishma Dev is the commander-in-chief on the Kauravas side. The commander-in-chief on the Pandava's side is actually Drishtadyumna. So why is Duryodhana comparing Bhishma Dev with Bhima? Doesn't make sense. Because deep inside he had a fear. He knew that Bhima was going to be the cause of his death. Then if you look at Shloka 9, look at Duryodhana's mood. He was quite open about the fact that so many kings are ready to lay down their lives for me. So he was confident of the fact that he would be victorious because the other kings are ready to sacrifice their life for him. So certainly some amount of selfishness here. He also mentions Karna in one of the shlokas. Although Karna is not on the battlefield. Karna only comes on the 11th day because Karna has taken a vow as long as Bhishma Dev is there, he will not be participating in war. So once Bhishma Dev falls, then Dronacharya is nominated as the commander-in-chief. And then Karna comes in. So you can see the false pride that Duryodhana has. And at the same time, some amount of fear. And you can see selfishness. Duryodhana is happy for many people to sacrifice their lives just so that he can get the kingdom. So what is something that we can learn from here is that we should not destroy others just so that we become victorious. Definitely we should not engage in adharmic ways to fight others. So no amount of money is going to make you successful. No amount of human power is also going to make you successful. The only thing Krishna is going to tell us time and time again in the Bhagavad Gita is that if you follow dharma, it will protect you, he will protect you. So this is the most important thing for us. We must follow dharma. And each of us is responsible for following it. It's not just the elders. Everybody is responsible for following dharma. Only then you are protected. So now we'll move to the second section, where there are indications already that the Pandavas are going to be victorious. So in this 19th shloka, Sanjaya is telling Dhritarashtra, Saghosho dhartarashtrana hridaya nivyadarayat nabhascha prithivim chaiva tumulobhyanunadayan. The blowing of these different conch shells became uproarious, vibrating both in the sky and on the earth. It shattered the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra. So everybody is blowing their conch shell. Krishna, Arjuna, Yudhishthira. On the other side, the first person to blow the conch shell was Bhishma Dev, because he thought this Duryodhana looks like he's getting a little anxious. So let me blow my conch shell and reassure him that I am here on his side. I will do my best to fight and bring victory. Actually, deep down, Bhishma Dev actually wanted the Pandavas to be victorious. He certainly did not want the Kauravas to be victorious, although he was fighting on their side. So what are the other signs of victory that we hear about in the first chapter? One is the divine conch shell of the Lord and Arjuna. Then the very fact that Krishna is present on the battlefield. Then on top of the chariot of Arjuna is a flag with a depiction of Lord Hanuman. Then a reference to Madhava, the husband of the goddess of fortune, Sri Mahalakshmi. And the chariot that Arjuna gets from Agnidev as a reward for helping Agnidev in one of his battles. So these are the signs of victory that are mentioned in the shlokas. Now we'll come to the topic of how is the Lord so merciful? We use the word causeless mercy. So when we are ready to offer Krishna everything, then we become qualified to receive His mercy. But we must be in that mood to give Krishna. Then we can see how He will act in our lives. So here Arjuna is speaking. Arjuna uvacha senayor ubhayor madhye ratham sthapaya mechuta yavadetan niriksheham yodhukaman avastithan kairmaya saha yodhavyam asmin ranasamudyame. So Arjuna is saying, "O infallible one," he's talking to Krishna, "please draw my chariot between the two armies so that I may see those who are present here, who desire to fight, and with whom I must contend in this great trial of arms." So if you look at the shloka, who is instructing whom? Arjuna is instructing the Lord. Who is the master in reality? Is Krishna the master or is Arjuna the master? What do you think? You can
Krishna.
put your response in the chat. Is Krishna the master or is Arjuna the master? Krishna is the master. So how come Arjuna is instructing him? Because Krishna has taken the role of a charioteer. Krishna is ready to listen to his close friend and devotee. Even though Krishna is the master, because Arjuna is making the request of Krishna, you please move the chariot to the middle of the battlefield. So here Arjuna is requesting Krishna to take action. He's telling Krishna what to do. So looking at this, Karna thought, if Arjuna has such a great personality as his chariot here, I should not have any ordinary chariot. So one of the kings becomes Karna's charioteer. Do you know the name of the king who becomes Karna's charioteer? Anybody knows?
Shalyad Mataji. Shalya.
Hare Krishna. Looks like I lost my internet. So just give me a second. Okay. So what we were talking about was that Krishna is Bhaktavatsala. He is ready to do anything for his devotees, including ready to follow their instructions. There is a nice saying in Bengali, which is here. Rakhe Krishna Mare Krishna Rakhe ke. Meaning, if Krishna wants to protect you, nobody can destroy you. If Krishna wants to destroy you, nobody can protect you. So essentially, if we take the help of the Lord, then he is ready to protect us. But we should ask the Lord to help us. Just like Arjuna asked Krishna to help him on the battlefield, because he said, yeah, even though he's a great warrior, he's won many battles by himself without Krishna by his side. But in this particular battle, he sensed that he needed Krishna on his side. So now, after Krishna stops the chariot right in front of Bhishma Dev and Dronacharya's chariot, Arjuna goes into depression. He doesn't know what to do because he's seeing his family members, his gurus, people who have taught him, people who he has spent time with. Suddenly it occurs to him, I have to kill all of these people. So Arjuna now begins to tell Krishna, I really don't think I should be fighting. So he gives 5 reasons why he should not fight. 4 of the reasons are in the first chapter, and the 5th reason will come in the beginning of the 2nd chapter, which we will do tomorrow. So here Arjuna is saying, Aho batamahat papam kartum vyavasita vayam yadrajya sukha lobhena hantum swajanam udyataha. Arjuna is saying, Krishna, don't you think it's very, very strange? It looks like I am getting ready to commit all these sinful acts. And why am I ready to commit this sin? Simply because I want to enjoy a kingdom? Just to become a king, I am ready to kill my own cousins, my own relatives. Don't you think that's not the right thing to do? So here is the first reason that Arjuna is giving. He gives other reasons. So it looks like some issues with internet today. Okay, so the first reason Arjuna has cited is, see, these are my friends and relatives. I don't see how I can kill them. Then he says, even if I kill them, how can I enjoy the kingdom? Because the purpose of fighting and winning is to enjoy the results with your family. If the family itself is gone, and here Arjuna is looking at the gurus as his family, what point is there of me fighting? Because even if I win, I will not be able to enjoy it. Then he says, we are ready to commit so many sins. Who will accept the sins of killing so many soldiers? And then he expresses that if all these soldiers die, then women will not have husbands. So there is a chance that they will be taken advantage of improperly. And then from thereon the family culture itself will be destroyed. So here in the first chapter, Arjuna is giving 4 reasons why he should not fight. He's feeling very compassionate to his family members. He's saying, I can't enjoy even after I win, because so many people would have died. So many people on the battlefield. And I'm worried about the future of society. So these are the 4 reasons that Arjuna has given in this chapter. So I have one more poll for you now, if I can find it. Yes, here it is. Okay. Yes, you should see the poll now. Do you agree with Arjuna? Do you think the reasons Arjuna is giving for not fighting are right? Or is he wrong? Or are you not sure? Okay. So the majority of you are saying that the reason Arjuna is giving for not fighting is quite appropriate. Okay. Okay. So sometimes we are also in a similar situation in life. Arjuna is confused here. What should he do? Should he kill? Should he not kill? Should he follow his duties and responsibilities as a Kshatriya? Or he should put that in the back seat, because right now his Kshatriya duty is not important. His family duty is important. Sometimes dharma will clash. For example, you can take a very simple example, although this is not necessarily a dharma example, but you can understand the quandary that you're in. Let us say you've got a job offer, you applied for a job, and you've got multiple job offer letters. One job pays you very nicely. You've got a, say, 100% pay hike, but then the office is quite far off. Another job, maybe their pay hike is just 50%, but then the job is very close to your house. So how will you make a decision? You want more money or you want shorter commute? So not all of us will make the same decision. Some of us will choose more money. Some of us will choose a shorter commute so that we don't have the headache of traveling 2-3 hours to the job and back. Similarly, even in a married life or grihastha life, if there is a disagreement between mother-in-law and daughter-in-law, should the son/husband decide whose side he takes, his mom's side or his wife's side? Quite a difficult situation. In these situations, it's very difficult to figure out how to get out of these conflicting situations. How do you know who you should keep happy? Is it important to keep the mother happy or is it important to keep the wife happy? It's not an easy answer. It's very situational. So the answer to your question, whether you were right or wrong, we will find out only tomorrow. Right now, we are assuming that Arjuna is right. But I think we will discover that Dharma is actually quite complicated. So Arjuna's confusion is, should I follow my duty as a Kshatriya, or should I follow my duty as a family man, a dynasty? Is my dynasty important, or is the kingdom important? Is establishing dharma important, or is my family important? That's the question Arjuna has to answer. Actually, he doesn't know the answer to this question. That's why he's giving so many reasons why he should not fight. So Krishna plays the role of Guru from chapter 2, because he is going to guide Arjuna on the decision-making process. So the whole job for Krishna during the Bhagavad Gita is to help Arjuna arrive at a decision. That's it. The Bhagavad Gita begins with Arjuna saying, I am confused. It ends with Arjuna saying, I am not confused anymore. My answer is clear. I know what I have to do. So you may say, okay, then why for this 18 chapters we need? Krishna could have given the answer in one paragraph and be done. But it's not that easy, you know. Because sometimes when you get an answer to one question, you have more questions. That's how life is. So similarly, when Arjuna starts asking questions and Krishna starts giving answers, and Arjuna will have more doubts. You will say, what about this and what about that? What about this? And you said this sometime back and now you're saying this. I'm a little confused. So sometimes Arjuna will get confused when Krishna responds to him. So a good teacher will spend time explaining philosophy. And you will re-explain it and re-explain it as long as the student has not understood. That is what Krishna does for Arjuna. So Krishna's role is to help Arjuna make a decision. Similarly, Krishna's role in our life, even though we are not Arjuna, we are not sitting on the battlefield, but we are in the battlefield of life. As we discovered on that first slide, there will be ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs, and sometimes very tough situations. So how are you going to make the decision? You can't call Krishna. You have to refer to the Bhagavad Gita. And then the other problem is we can't understand the Bhagavad Gita. So how will I know where is the answer in the Bhagavad Gita? Then you have to approach somebody who is well versed in the Gita and they can guide you based on scriptures. So this entire Bhagavad Gita is to help you also unravel difficult situations in your life and allow Krishna to help you arrive at that right decision. So we'll stop here. Any questions on this first chapter? Yeah, my apologies. I had some internet issues, so I switched to my hotspot. So I hope it is okay. Any questions?
Hello?
Yes.
Hello. I'm eagerly waiting that your team will take us to this Singapore.
Yes, thank you. It's a journey for the next 18 days. Hare Krishna. Okay, so Radha Mataji has put that Arjuna is right from his perspective. You know, sometimes your vision is like this. And Krishna has to expand his vision like this. So when Krishna expands his vision, then his perspective changes. So similarly, when you are in a difficult situation, you don't know the right answer because your vision is like this, very narrow. Then somebody has to tell you, actually, this is the broader vision. Then it becomes maybe a little clearer for you on how to make that decision. Yes, so that's right. So
Hari Om, why in life up and down come?
Why in life up and down comes? Well, if ups and downs don't come, you will not try to change your life. So Krishna has designed this world in such a way that you will experience happiness and you will experience difficult situations. Without that, you will not be willing to make any change in your life. If everything was only happy, you will sit here only. You will not make any effort to do anything different. So even a very rich man experiences ups and downs. It's not just those who don't have money or don't have a good spouse or, did not grow up with parents, did grow up with parents. So many combinations are there. But Krishna will ask us and tell us in the second chapter that it is a feature of this world to experience ups and downs. You cannot do anything about it. But you can change your perspective of what is life, as Radha Mataji very nicely pointed out. When your perspective becomes broader, then the solution and the approach also changes. So we said the reason you are attending this class is you also want to know how to be permanently happy, right? You can be permanently happy, but you have to do a few things to be permanently happy. That you will discover in the upcoming chapters. Thank you. Anybody else has any questions or comments? Yes, the YouTube channel link has been posted, so kindly subscribe to the channel. You can access the class recordings from the YouTube channel. Okay. There are no... Yes.
Can I know the exact section timings? Like it's for 1 hour or it's extended?
It is from 8 to 9, and then from 9 onwards would be your question and answer.
Okay, Mataji, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Salya was the charioteer of Karna.
Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, thank you very much. We will see you tomorrow. Yeah, join us a little early so we can introduce you to chanting as well. Thank you very much. Mancha kalpadarubhyascha kripasindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti Vaishnava Vrindi ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Shri Gauranitai ki jai. Thank you, devotees. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.